Hey everybody, welcome back to Raisin Raina. This section of our page is about cooking, and I know you've probably already watched Chef Richie's Palace, which is fantastic. My section is called A Little Taste of Stanbrough, and my name is Krista. So we're going to make spaghetti today, trying to show my nieces and my children how to cook a little bit. Nothing extraordinary, but just so they can take care of themselves and not call me when they get stuck, right? So today we're making spaghetti, specifically spaghetti sauce to go with your own pasta. It's really easy to buy your own spaghetti sauce, and a lot of them taste pretty good. Prices are pretty decent too, but I still have great memories of my mom making it from scratch, and so I thought this would be a good way to honor her and make some from scratch today. So on my cutting board right now, these are some herbs straight out of my garden. So right here is basil. I wish you guys could smell it. It smells so good. Rosemary and thyme. And so I've pulled it off the stems here and here. But if you didn't want to pull it off the stem, you could leave it on there and you can put it in cheesecloth, wrap it up, and you can put it in your sauce and take it out later. You know, everybody doesn't like all these stems in their food. But these are pretty small, and I'm gonna chop them. And my honey likes the spices in there, so I leave them in there for him. Okay. All right, so let's chop a little bit of this up. This right here is garlic. Y'all know I like garlic. This is the roasted garlic. I roasted it myself. I showed you guys on a previous video how to do it, but it's really soft. It's almost like a paste, because they charge you a lot of money for this in the grocery store, and I'm not giving it to them. I can do it myself. So I essentially put the whole thing in some foil paper. I cut the top off of it, put some vegetable oil, just a little bit, salt, pepper, and put the whole foil package in my toaster oven for about 40 minutes on 375, and it comes out really soft like that. Basil, brought it straight in from outside, washed it. I'm just gonna chop it up. This is my rosemary, came straight in from outside. This is springtime, you know, it's time to plant. So if you haven't planted anything, get started. Just try it. Hey, if it doesn't grow, it doesn't grow. Just start small. Anybody can do this. And of course, you know my number one ingredient, sofrito. Use it. Makes it fantastic. All right, so we have all our herbs ready to go, and we're gonna go over to the stove now, and we're gonna start cooking. Come on. So on this side of the stove, I have already browned my meat. Okay, so in this frying pan, we don't eat a whole lot of ground beef around here, but we eat it sometimes. But for spaghetti, I don't usually use ground beef anymore. I use ground turkey or ground chicken. In this case, I have, let me see, yeah, I have a ½ pound of Italian sausage. I have 1½ pounds of ground turkey, and I have 1 pound of ground chicken. And it's all in here. I've browned it. Okay, so I've already done that for you. You can look a little closer at that. I'm gonna wash my hands again. And what we're going to do is we're going to add in onion and green pepper and red pepper, and we're going to cook that until it becomes soft or translucent, okay? Oh, look at there. There we go. You might want to make sure your stove's working. Okay. I'm like, it should be cooking by now. All right, in here is a little bit more than ½ cup. If you don't like to see onion in your food, don't put onion in your food. You can use onion powder, or you can use garlic powder if you don't like to see garlic in your food. I have one niece in particular who I love very much, and when this video comes out, it'll be her birthday, so happy birthday. But she doesn't like to see onions and all of this stuff. When you use sofrito, you don't see it anymore. But in this house, we use sofrito and we use chopped vegetables because we like them too. So just keep that in mind. So I'm gonna put my onion in here. I'm going to put all my peppers in here, and then I'm going to saute this. This is my green pepper, red pepper. This is all half a cup each. We got a little garlic right here. This is about 2 cloves. I'm going to grab this other garlic that we chopped a minute ago. I'm going to put it in too. Now I'm not putting in the herbs yet. I'm going to wait a little bit later to put those in. But I'm cooking all of this together. So I know somebody out there is going to say, well, Krista, I don't eat meat. Well, sometimes I don't eat meat either. So if you don't eat meat, then you don't eat meat. You can make this without meat. You can start out with, instead of having all of your meats in here brown, just start out with a couple of tablespoons of vegetable oil or olive oil, whatever your favorite oil is, and you start sauteing these peppers and onions in here, okay? Everything else applies. But for us meat eaters, this makes it taste really good. Sometimes I will put in, the smoked sausage. Sometimes I'll put that in there. I'll chop it up in little circles, and I'll put that in there, and that is some of the best. But today we're doing ground chicken, ground turkey, and a little Italian sausage. All right. So this is going to cook down a little bit more, and then we're going to start adding these items. Let me show you what else we got back here. So these are 28-ounce cans of whole tomatoes. I have 2 of them. I have tomato paste here. This is a 12-ounce can of tomato paste. I have an 8-ounce can of tomato sauce. I have some kosher salt, garlic powder, onion powder, and this is some yellow mustard. I'm not going to use very much, but just a little bit. And then 2 tablespoons of sugar. Okay? And that's all there is to it. So spaghetti sauce, for it to taste really good, it has to cook a while. You can't just, well, it tastes much better if you cook it a long time. So, if you are a single mother or father and you want to have a great meal when you get home from work, but you know you're going to be exhausted, brown your meat earlier. Put all these items into a crock pot, turn it on low, and go to work. When you come back, it will be so, so good. And all you have to do is make pasta. Okay? All right, so I'm going to keep browning this around. And we're going to add a few more ingredients. I'll come back to you in just a minute. All right, so when I left you, I put all these peppers and onions in here. It's really pretty. And the onions and peppers are kind of soft now. So I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next step, which is adding sofrito. I'm going to add a couple tablespoons here. Makes it taste extra good. And then we're going to add just a little bit of salt. Listen, everybody's different. If you can't eat a lot of salt, don't put a lot of salt in here. Put in here what you want. All right. Stir that up a little bit. Ooh, I wish y'all could smell it. Smells good. All right, I'm going to start adding all these other ingredients. And then we're going to let this simmer. So I'm going to start with the tomatoes. And if you cook this long enough, these tomatoes are going to break down. If you get some, because they're whole, right? I know you don't want a whole tomato in your sauce. Well, guess what? You don't have to have a whole tomato. As this cooks along, I'll probably kind of chop them down a little bit as I go. But the longer I cook this, they're going to break down on their own. It just takes a while, that's all. Alright, so we got our 2 cans of tomatoes. I'm going to add tomato paste. And I know that I'm going to need probably going to need a little water. I usually just wait and see if I need water or not. It just depends on how thick it is. You got to use common sense. Alright? Think it through. Does it make sense? So see, even now I'm kind of chopping these tomatoes in half. But time is your friend for spaghetti sauce. You want to do something special, you know, for your family, make your own spaghetti sauce. All right. All right, let's get some more items in here. This is our tomato paste. I'm gonna put about half of this can in here first. And then once it cooks a while, I'm gonna see if it tastes like I want it to taste. If it's not tomatoey enough, I'll add a little more. Sometimes you don't need the whole can, you just gotta look. Oh, Mom, I wish you was here. Okay. And we're gonna add our herbs, and this is our sugar. All right. You say, what about that mustard over there, Krista? What kind of sauce are you making with mustard in it? Don't worry about my sauce. I got a little dash of mustard in it. It's gonna taste fine. The key is to try, to get in the kitchen and start cooking. Know how to feed yourself. You shouldn't have to call a restaurant every time it's time for dinner. You should be able to make your own food. We're trying to grow our own food this year. It's gonna be funny. We'll show you some of that another time. All right. All right, so our sauce is going. What you didn't see me do is, I'll shake it up. What you didn't see me do was add the garlic powder and the onion powder. And that's because I put it in with the meat earlier. And I just shook enough to taste. I didn't put a big ton of garlic powder and onion powder, because remember, I already have a lot of that in here. We put real garlic in here. We got real onions in here. We got basil, thyme, oregano. Wait, what is my oregano? I will shake it in a minute. Maybe about a teaspoon. All right. All right, folks. So here's our spaghetti sauce. We're gonna let this simmer for a good while. I'm gonna put it on low, and then when it's done, we're gonna come back and show it to you. I also have this pot over here for the spaghetti itself, which I got time, because this is gonna cook a while. But if you need help making spaghetti, we could talk about that too. All right, be back when it's all finished. Okay, we're back. So now this is our final product. If you look down here, this is our spaghetti and sauce. The sauce is so good, it's pretty hot. You know, I have my official taste tester that likes to come when food is ready. So we're gonna let her try it and tell us her honest opinion. It's hot. And? Good deal. I'm gonna try it myself. I haven't tried it. There's something great about making your own food. That's good. All right, you guys make your own spaghetti sauce. I'm looking for pictures. Don't forget, it's Raisin Raina. Click the like button, subscribe, and what?
Turn on the notification bell so you don't miss another video.
You heard the lady. Turn on the notification bell. And see you next time.